Hello, students, and welcome to our lesson on solving systems of equations applications. So now we're going to take what we've been doing and we're going to put it to use. What can we use this for? I just want to make a note, we are still map testing. So I will see each one of my algebra classes, one class on Monday and one class on Tuesday. The same lesson both days. The only thing that's different is the do now prompt. So the Monday folks have a do now prompt that talks about family contracts. And the Tuesday class, and that would be the fifth period class, has a do now that talks about disrespect and harassment. Of course, we're wondering where those things come from, how we can solve them. But for everyone else, everything else is the same. So our objective is to solve applications of systems of equations. And with our essential question, we'll ask what are the four steps that we will use to solve the system of equations application. Our assignment, we will answer our do now as always. We're going to watch the video and complete, we have 2 pages of problems today. We will answer the exit ticket and then submit your completed photo of your work in Teams. Let's get that last step right, folks. Let's do that. Give you credit for all your hard work. For our exit ticket, we will review the 4 steps to solving a systems of equation application. And again, submit the photo in Teams. Take that final step. I'm told by everyone it's super easy to do it if you upload the Teams app on your phone and sign in. For homework, you have 5 problems. I've actually attached the homework to the bottom of this page, so let's take a look at that. There's our do now. There are 2 work pages, and here is our homework page, numbers 1 through 5. So, of course, you do your homework on paper. You do not do it in Teams. The papers are there just for your reference. The only thing we do in Teams is our do now and our exit. Remember, for full credit, we want to have those cameras on during class. Respond when your name is called at the beginning, middle, and end of the period. Doesn't matter. You have to stay through the entire class unless you finish your work and I excuse you. Ask for help when needed and attack these problems with confidence. We have a full day of classes on Wednesday, but it will be distance learning. I want you to look for an interactive notebook assignment in Teams. There will be 4 more pages that we will do. And I'm reminding you that on Friday we have a half day. So for the Monday students, period 2, our due now is the following. A family contract is an agreement with family members about how we want to treat each other, share tight quarters, and resolve agreements. What rules should a family contract contain regarding school equipment and supplies? So you're going to have don't touch my stuff rule, stay away from my dry erase markers and my whiteboard. Perhaps my Chromebook is not to be used for movies. I want you to think about that. For those of you in the Wednesday group, our do now is a little different. It is everyone's right to be respected for who they are and to be free from harassment. It is everyone's responsibility to respect and not harass others. If disrespect and harassment are wrong, where do people learn these behaviors? I think that's always worth thinking about. And let's answer that right here. Where do people learn those egregious behaviors? It had to come from somewhere. What's going on? And if we know where those behaviors come from, sometimes it gives us an understanding of how we can help them get through that and turn around. So, whichever day you are in, please work on your do now. And we will come back to our exit ticket, pretty fancy with all those Valentine's decorations today. All right, so here we are with systems of equations applications. And the first thing we're going to look at is, what's kind of this 4-step process I can do to help me solve systems of equations. So we have a 4-step process. First, we define the 2 variables. We've done this before. I've done something called an X box with you. We're going to make use of the X box again. Once you define your 2 variables and you've created your X box, we want you to write the system of equations using the information given in the problem. So these first 2 steps, I think, are probably the most difficult. You really have to tease this out correctly. You have to really think about, what is this problem asking me? What does this problem want to know? So these first two steps are where I really want you to put on your thinking cap. Then solve the system. If you're still having trouble with solving the systems, you can go back and watch prior videos. You can go back and look at prior lessons and then answer it. Remember, give exactly what the problem is asking. You know, if they ask for how many cups of sugar, you're going to give them cups. How many miles did he drive on the first day? Well, then your answer is in miles. Think carefully about it. Be mindful of money and calendars. Sometimes you're given a problem in dollars, and they ask you for the answer in how many quarters or how much, cents. Or they might give you a problem in days and then say how many hours or minutes. So think carefully about what they're asking and give the answer in the exact amount. So let's start these problems. The first problem is the sum of two numbers is 30. So when we add them together, they're 30. The difference is 12. Find the two numbers. So when we create our X box, we have a first number. So first number, and we're going to let Y equal the second number. Okay, number one, number two. That's our X box. So now let's just read through the problem. The sum of the two numbers is 30. So X plus Y equals 30. Their difference is 12. So X minus Y is 12. Now we've got to solve them. So it looks like I've already, let's change our color so we can do this properly. It looks like I've already eliminated the y's, plus y minus y. So all I have to do is basically add these two together, and I have 2x equals, I forgot to put my 0. There we go. 2x equals 42. Divide both sides by 2, and x equals 21. So the sum of two numbers is 30. Their difference is 12. So if x is 21, let's choose the first equation. So 21 plus y equals 30, and obviously y equals 9. So let's go back to the question. Find the two numbers. What are the two numbers? The two numbers are 21 and 9. And that's our final answer. For number 2, we are told that the sum of two numbers is 24 and their difference is 2. Let's start with an X box. So we're going to let X equal the first number, or number 1, and we're going to let Y equal the second number. There's my X box. Okay, so the sum is 24. X plus Y equals 24. The difference is 2. X minus Y equals 2. And again, this is just like the first problem. I've eliminated my y's, so I've got 2x equals 26. Divide by 2, and x equals 13. So let's just look at the first equation. If x is 13, 13 plus y equals 24, and clearly y equals 11. So my two numbers are 13 and 11. Okay, moving on to number 3 and 4. I'd love to see you try these on your own for a minute. You can pause the video, see if you can do it on your own, and then come back. Meanwhile, I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. It's delicious. I got a new coffee maker. Yummy. So excited about that. Hey, I might ask you in a quiz now, what did Mrs. Gold buy this week that she drank from during her video on solving systems of equations using with applications? Paying attention, I hope. Okay, number 3, the difference between two numbers is 9. So we're subtracting to get 9. And then the first number plus twice the other number is 27. So remember, is always means equals, okay? So we need to start with our X box. So we're going to let X equal the first number and let Y equal the second number. And there's my X box, all set. So we've got, in this case, the difference between two numbers is 9. So X minus Y equals 9. And the first number, X, plus twice the second number equals or is 27. So the thing I can do with this system of equations easily is I can just subtract. Let me get a darker color that you can see better. So X minus X eliminates the X's. Negative Y minus 2Y, don't forget the minus here, okay, let's put that there, is 3Y. And 9 minus 27 is negative 18. Divide both sides by 3, and Y equals 6. Because we have negative 3y equals negative 18, dividing by negative 3. Negative divided by negative is a positive, so Y equals 6. Now we go back to the first equation, just because it's simpler. X minus 6. X minus 6, because we've solved for Y here, is 9, we are told. So add 6 to both sides, and X equals 15. So what are the two numbers? 15 and 6. How did you do? All right, let's look at number 4. The sum of two numbers is 36. Twice the first number minus the second number is 6. Find the numbers. So let's define our X box first. Let X equal the first number. Let Y equal the second number, or number 2. So we've got the sum of two numbers is 36. And then twice the first number, that's 2x, minus the second, so minus the second number, which is Y, equals 6. And this is a great case. I can just add them together. Let me change my color. So I'm just going to add them together because the y's will be eliminated. So x plus 2x is 3x. 36 plus 6 is 42. Divide both sides by 3. And x equals 14. Now I'm going to use this first equation just because it's simpler. So x is 14, so I've got 14 plus y equals 36. When I subtract 14 from both sides of the equation, y equals 22. So my two numbers are 14 and 22. So try number 5 and 6 and then come back to the video. So number 5 says the sum of two numbers is 20. The difference between 3 times the first number and twice the second number is 40. Find the two numbers. All right, let's define our numbers. Let x equal the first number. Let y equal the second number. Here's my X box, all defined. So I've got x plus y equals 20. And then I have the difference between 3 times the first number. So 3x minus twice the second number is 40. So when I take a look at that, what I'm going to need to do to solve this is I'm going to multiply the first equation by 2 so that I can end up with 2y here. So I'll rewrite that down here. So that will give me 2x plus 2y equals 40. And then I'll keep the second equation as is, 3x minus 2y equals 40. And all I need to do is add them together, and that eliminates the y, which gives me 5x equals 80. And I divide both sides by 5, and x equals 16. Now I'm going to take 16 and substitute it in this first equation here for x. So 16 plus y equals 20, and it's really easy to see that y equals 4. So my two numbers are 16 and 4. Okay, number 6. The sum of two numbers is 25. That's our first equation. One number is twice the second number plus, so we're adding 7. What are the two numbers? Let's define our values, our variables. So we will let x equal the first number and let y equal the second number. And let's see, we're first told the sum of two numbers is 25. That means we're adding. So x plus y equals 25. So one number is twice the second number plus 7. So x is 2y plus 7. Okay, we already have x defined here. We've got x equals 2y plus 7. We already have x defined, so we're going to use substitution, and we're going to substitute this quantity, 2y plus 7, for x. So instead of x, I will write 2y plus 7, that's this x here, then plus y equals 25. Now it's simply a matter of combining like terms. So 2y plus y are 3y plus 7 equals 25. Subtract 7 from both sides of this equation. 3y equals 18. Divide both sides by 3, and y equals 6. Now I'm going to go back to the first equation that was super easy. I already know what y is, so x plus 6, that's what y is, we just figured that out already, equals 25. And if I subtract 6 from both sides, I see that x equals 19. Therefore, my two numbers are 19 and 6. Now, how are you going to check all these problems? Well, you're just going to test the numbers against the information. The sum of two numbers is 25. Are 19 and 6 25? Yes. So that checks. One number, so let's say 19, is twice the second number plus 7. So 19 minus 7 is 12. Is 12 2 times 6? Yep. So you just check the two numbers against the problem. If they solve the problem, then that means your solution is correct. Okay, so now we've got slightly different problems, but the process is the same. Let's review it. Always define your variables. Then we're going to write a system of equations, solve the system, answer the problem, giving exactly what is asked for. So, number 7, the cost of 3 boxes of envelopes and 4 boxes of notebook paper is $13.25. 2 boxes of envelopes and 6 boxes of notebook paper cost $17. Find the cost of each. Okay, slow down, okay? So we've got 3 envelopes for notebook equals $13.25. 2 envelopes and 6 notebook equals 17. Let's just define our variables. So we've got envelopes and paper. So I'm going to let X equal envelopes. I'm going to let Y equal paper, the notebook paper. There's my X box. Okay, so what do they tell me? They tell me that 3 boxes of envelopes, 3X, plus 4 boxes of notebook paper, 4Y, equals $13.25. They also tell me that 2 boxes of envelopes and 6 boxes of notebook paper equals $17. So let's take a look. I've got 2X, 3X and 2X, 4Y and 6Y. Well, I see I can eliminate the Y if I multiply the first equation times 2, actually times 3, and the second equation times 2, because let's find the highlighter. Given the 2 numbers, 4 and 6, the least common multiple between 4 and 6 is 12. So I'm going to multiply the first equation times 3 so that I can get 12y. I'll multiply the second equation times 2 so that I can get 12y. So let's rewrite these equations once we multiply. So 3 times 3x is 9x. 3 times 4y is 12y. And 3 times $13.25 is $39.75. Now, the second equation, I'm multiplying by 2. So 2 times 2x is 4x. 2 times 6 is 12, so we've got 12y. 2 times 17 is 34. Now, I'm going to subtract the second equation from the first equation so that I can eliminate the y terms. So 9 minus 4, 5x. I've eliminated the y terms. 39.75 minus 34 is $5.75. Divide both sides by 5. Be mindful that there is a decimal there, and x will equal $1.15. Now we have to find out, that's the envelopes. The envelopes are $1.15. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. Remember, give them what they ask for. Now I've got to figure out how much the paper costs. So, actually, I don't want to put an equal sign there. I'm going to do something a little different. Okay. All right, so let's substitute x into, let's use the second equation. It's a little easier. So 2 instead of x, I have $1.15 plus 6y equals 17. 2 times $1.15 is $2.30 plus 6y equals 17. Subtract $2.30 from each side. And 6y equals $14.70, excuse me. Divide both sides by 6, and y equals $2.45. And that's the cost of a box of notebook paper. $2.45. And that's your final answer. How can I prove this? A couple of things I can do. You need to show me your work. So when you turn in your homework, I'm going to need to see all your work. When you turn in your lesson today, I'm going to need to see all of this work. However, you can check this by substituting these values back into these equations and making sure that they work, that they are true. You can also insert these equations into Desmos and quickly see that you get these values. So let's go number 8. The cost of 12 oranges and we're adding 7 apples is $5.36. 8 oranges plus 5 apples is $3.68. This is very much like the problem number 7. So then it says find the cost of each. So let's define our variables by creating an X box. So I'm going to let X equal oranges. It doesn't matter what your X and Y are. What matters is that you give the correct information in the answer. So I'm going to let Y equal apples. And there's my X box. So 12 oranges plus 7 apples is $5.36. 8 oranges plus 5 apples is $3.68. And right away you can tell which is more expensive, the apples or the oranges. And you can see right away that the apples are a little bit more expensive than the oranges. If you don't see that, keep looking for that. Because more apples you have, the cost lowered. So I got a 12 and an 8 on the X's and a 5 and a 7 on the Y's. I think I'm going to eliminate the X's for this one. I think what I'm going to do is look for a least common denominator of 12 and 8, and that would be 24. So I'm going to multiply the first equation by 2 and multiply the second equation by 3. So let's rewrite these equations. So 2 times 12 is 24x plus 2 times 7 is 14y equals 2 times $5.36 is $10.72. Now I'll multiply the second equation by 3. 8 times 3 is 24x. So that's going to enable me to eliminate the x's. 5 times 3 is 15y, and 3 times $3.68 is $11.04. So I'm going to merely subtract the second equation from the first to eliminate the x values. So now 14 minus 15 is negative 1. That will be an invisible 1, so that's negative y equals, and we've got negative 0.32 cents. Don't worry about the negative because we're still dividing both of these by negative 1, so it will go positive, and y will equal 32 cents. And remember, your heads up 0. Okay, so let's go ahead and substitute the value of y, this 32 cents, into the second equation. Let's go there now. So we will have 8x, and we're solving for x, plus 5y, which is 0.32, equals $3.68. We go with the original equation here. So we need to distribute. So 8x plus 5 times 0.32, that's 1.6, or in the context of this problem, $1.60, equals $3.68. Now subtract the 1.6 or $1.60 from each side. I can put a 0 there if it helps me. And 8x will equal 2.08. Not done yet until I divide by 8. So we're looking for the price of an orange. 2.08 divided by x equals 0.26. So that's the oranges. So Don't write X and Y for your answer. It's oranges and apples. So the oranges are 26 cents. You can write it like this if you want. And the apples are 32 cents. Okay, moving on to number 9. We've got Gabby and Sydney. Gabby and Sydney bought some pens and pencils. Okay, good for them, but that really doesn't help us. There's no information there that's going to help us solve this problem. Gabby bought 4 pens and 5 pencils for $6.71. Interesting use of the word for, really means is. 4 pens and 5 pencils is $6.71. Sydney went shopping as well. She bought 5 pens plus 3 pencils for $7.12. So, from my point of view, this problem really is about an interesting use of language designed to throw you off a little bit, but we're not stumped by that. What we've got here are pens and pencils. Doesn't matter who bought them. What matters is how many they bought and what did they cost. So we start with an X box. So let X equal our pens and let Y equal pencils. So we've got 4 pens. Pens is our X. And 5 pencils is $6.71. And then we've got 5 pens and 3 pencils for $7.12. So I think what I'd like to do with this one is eliminate the Y's. And I will do that by multiplying, let's see, I have a 5 and I have a 3. The least common multiple is 15. So I'm going to multiply the first equation by 3 so I can get the 15y. And I'm going to multiply the second equation by 5. So when I do that, 3 times 4 is 12. 12x plus 5 times 3, 15y, equals 671 times 3 is $20.13. And we'll multiply the second equation by 5. 5 times 5 is 25x plus 15y equals 7.12 times 5 is $35.60. Now I can just subtract the second equation from the first, which eliminates my y's. So I'm going to have negative x here for a few minutes. 12 minus 25 is negative 13x equals, and negative money over here, $20.13 minus $35.60 equals negative $15.47. But when I divide both of those values by negative 13, I'm back into positive, and x equals $1.19. Now I'm just going to substitute that. I think I'll use the first equation. So 4 instead of x, $1.19 plus 5y equals $6.71. First, I need to distribute. So 4 times $1.19 is $4.76 plus 5y equals $6.71. I will subtract $4.76 from both sides, which leaves me with 5y equals $1.95. And then I'll divide both sides by 5, and y equals 39 cents, 0.39. So what have we got? X is our pens. Pens are $1.19. 1 pen, $1.19. Pencils are 39 cents. And that's my final answer. Again, substitute these values back into the original problem. If you get the answer that it says there, then you've done this correctly. So we've got two more problems. Why don't you try them on your own and then come back to the video and let's see how smart you are. If you get them right or you get them wrong, you're super smart for trying on your own. So why don't you go ahead and do that? So meanwhile, I will start with number 10. At a sale on winter clothing, Cody bought 2 pairs of gloves and 4 hats for $43. There's that interesting use of the word for, meaning equal. So 2 gloves, 4 hats. Okay, good for Cody. And you know, the fact that they're on sale, not even important to this problem. Tori went shopping as well and bought 2 pairs of gloves and 2 hats for $30. Find the cost of each. So we've got hats and gloves. So we're going to let X equal the gloves. And we'll let Y equal hats. So 2 pairs of gloves, 2X, plus 4 hats, 4Y, for $43. It must be cold where these folks live. And then here in the second problem, we've got 2 pairs of gloves, and we've got 2 hats and $30. So we can just simply subtract the second equation from the first very easily. And we'll eliminate those x's. And then 4 minus 2 is 2y. 43 minus 30 is 13. And we divide both sides by 2. And y equals, that's going to be $6.50. I'm going to go ahead and add the zero since we're talking about money. And I think I'll just use the original first equation here, and I'll substitute the $6.50 for y. So I've got 2x, I'll solve for x so I can find out how much the gloves are, plus 4y, which is $6.50, equals 43, or I'm sorry, equals, oh, I see. You know what? We could use the second equation. I'm going to go ahead and use the first equation, equals 43. So 2x plus 4 times 650 is 24, 25, 26 equals 43. Subtract 26 from both sides. And 2x equals 17. Divide both sides by 2. And x equals $8.50. So what do we got? We've got gloves, which are our x, and they are $8.50 each. We've got hats, which were our y value. Write that a little better for you. And hats cost $6.50. And our last problem of the day. A garden supply store sells 2 types of lawnmowers. Again, don't get hung up with information that is not important. We have a small mower for $249.99. We've got a large mower for $329.99. If 30 total mowers were sold and the total sales for the year was $8,379.70, find how many of each type were sold. This is a different problem from the ones we've been solving. The method will be the same, but it's a slightly different type of problem. First, as always, we define our x value or our y value, so we need an x box. So let x equal the small lawnmowers, and let y equal the large lawnmowers. So what do we know? We know that total of 30 were sold. So we don't know how many x, but we know that x plus y equals 30. We all also know the cost. So we know the small mower is $249.99. So $249.99 times X, that's what we want to find out, plus the cost of the larger mower, $329.99 times however number, we don't know how many, we're figuring that out, equals this $8,379.70. So this is our system. So the first thing I would do is solve for x or y. And I think what I'm going to, and then use substitution. So I'm going to change, let's change our color first. I'm going to move y to the other side by subtracting it from both sides. So we have x equals negative y plus 30. And then now that I have a value for x, I'm going to substitute it right here where I have x. So watch this carefully. I wonder, let me get another piece of paper. I can use some of this whiteboard paper I have. So I've got x equals negative y plus 30. And I've also got 249.99x plus 329.99y equals $8,379.70. So I've decided to use substitution for this x value here. So $249.99 times, instead of x, negative y plus 3. Okay, now I have to finish writing the rest of the problem. Plus $329.99 y, we're going to solve for y in this problem, equals $8,379.70. First, we distribute. So 249.99 times negative y is negative 249.99y plus, now we have 3 times 249.99, which is going to give us 7,499.70. Then we just finish rewriting the rest of the equation, plus $329.99 times y equals $8,379.70. Okay, next step is to combine like terms. We have a y value here and a y value here. When we add negative 249.99 y, and we add that to 329.99 y, we get negative 80y. No, positive, I'm sorry, positive 80y. Okay, so let's get our pink back. So we've added this to get 80y. Plus 7499.70 equals 8379.70. Okay, let's subtract 7499.70 from each side of the equation. Which will give us 80y equals 880. Now, we're going to divide both sides by 80, and y equals 11. Okay, what does this mean? Let's think about the problem. That means y was our large lawnmowers, so 11 large mowers were purchased. Now let's go back to our paper. So y equals 11. Now let's substitute the 11. We can just go right back to the original equation we wrote, x plus y equals 30. Sorry about that. So we're going to substitute y for 11. So x plus 11 equals 30. And of course, x equals 19. So we've got 19 small mowers and 11 large mowers were purchased. Now, how do we check our answer? We take 19 times the cost of the small mower plus 11 times the cost of the large mower and it should equal this amount in the problem, $8,379.70. And when you do that, your answer will check. So good job today. It was a lot of work, but we do want to do our exit ticket. We do want to review those 4 steps to solving a system of equations, okay? So the first thing is to define our variables. Okay, I'm going to switch my color here. The second thing is to write a system of equations using the information given. The third step is to solve the system that you've written. Remember, you can check your system by plugging your solution back into the answer, and you can graph on Desmos too with some of these. And then just finally, answer the question correctly. And I'm going to say, answer the question as asked. So if they ask you for a number of mowers, you're just going to give them a number. If they're asking you what are the 2 numbers, you're going to give them the 2 numbers. If they're going to ask you about the cost of envelopes and paper or pencils and pens, then you're going to give them your answer in terms of money. So always be careful about what they ask you. Remember, you've worked hard today. So let's get paid for our hard work by submitting it into Teams and getting credit for your hard work. I appreciate all you do. I appreciate how hard you're working during distance learning, and I'm so proud of your growth this year. Keep working hard because you know the drill. As you do, you'll be great.